You are open. You know what? After this month.
So we have a June 17th.
This month.
Ready?
Well, we're not having fun.
Oh. Good evening, folks. Certainly good to see all of you. I kind of hate to break up the party. Everyone was having a good time, but but we do have to conduct our council business. So I want to welcome you to the Vincent Town Council meeting for this Tuesday, June 3rd. And of course, we never forget to call the roll, do we?
Never.
Never. So please do.
Councilmember Lyles,
Here.
Councilmember McCarty,
Here.
Councilmember Stovall,
Here.
Vice Mayor Mullins. Here. Mayor Gross.
Here. All right, we've gotten over the big hurdle for tonight. Here in the town of Vinton, we use a moment of silence. That way everyone can pray or meditate as they see fit. I hope you will pray. I'll be praying. If you pray, I would ask you to keep this community, this country, and certainly this council meeting in your thoughts and prayers. And I'll ask you to stand for that. And while we're standing, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. And Councilmember Lyles is in charge of that.
I have found somebody to do it tonight, and it's our new fabulous code enforcement officer, Scott Stevenson.
Woohoo! Proud of you.
All right.
So if you'd stand for those two items, please.
Place 5. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
All right. Again, thank you folks for being here. And with that, we will move on to our list of community events and Councilmember McCarty.
Okay. June the 7th at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Vinton History Museum will have their community ice cream social as their first Saturday event. June the 14th at 7 p.m., Mingle at the Market with Filthy Souls and Gasoline Alley. June the 19th, town offices are closed in observance of Juneteenth. June the 28th is another Mingle at the Market at 7 p.m. That's Carly Ray and the Eric Wayne Band. And July the 4th, of course, we have our Four on the 4th and our wonderful fireworks celebration. And also on July the 4th, the town offices are closed in observance of Independence Day.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. All right. With that, we'll move on to the activities of the council members. Our vice mayor usually has that.
Yes, sir. May 22nd, Mayor Gross, Vice Mayor Mullins, Councilmember Lyles attended the Public Works Luncheon. Sorry, I was reading ahead. That was my birthday. It was nice for them to have that for me. It was really Public Works Appreciation Week, and it was well deserved. Today, Mayor Gross attended the Roanoke Regional Partnership Board of Directors meeting. And also today, just a little bit ago, all council members attended the Town of Vinton Comprehensive Plan work session.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. So the next item is a request to postpone, add, or change anything on the agenda. Anything we need to change, folks? No? With that, we'll move on to the consent agenda. And tonight it contains the minutes of the regular meeting on May 20th, 2025. Are there any changes or additions? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All right. We have a motion by Vice Mayor Mullins, second by Councilmember Stovall. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. All right. Now to the best part of the meeting, the fun part, our awards and introductions. And tonight we do have a proclamation for National Safety Month. And Donna, did you want to say anything? Our Vice Mayor has the proclamation. Donna is very instrumental in conducting our safety program here in town. Thank you for that. Matter of fact, she's instrumental in conducting a lot of things here in town. So if you would like to read the proclamation. please.
Absolutely. Whereas safe and healthy workplaces are vital to our well-being and the economic prosperity of the Commonwealth, and whereas each year more than 80,000 Virginia workers suffer serious job-related injuries or illnesses, and more than 100 Virginia workers die in work-related incidents, and whereas workplace safety requires the cooperation of all levels of government, business, and industry, as well as the general public, and whereas implementing health and safety programs can improve Virginia's business performance and contribute to the local economy and job force, and whereas workplace injuries lead to increased medical and worker compensation costs and diminish the productivity of employees, and whereas accidents and injuries in the workplace are preventable, and employees and employers must be engaged, educated, and aware of the safety practices and policies, and whereas the National Safety Council has designated June as National Safety Month for 2025 and provides resources to promote workplace safety by recognizing hazards, potential slips, trips, and falls, and combating fatigue and impairment. Now, therefore, Mayor Bradley E. Gross and the Town Council of the Town of Vinton, on behalf of all of our citizens, do hereby recognize the month of June 2025 as National Safety Month in the Town of Vinton and call upon all citizens and employees of the town to promote good workplace safety and health practices.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, good job. We surprised her with these last minute proclamations. She always does a great job. But obviously, safety on the job is very, very important. And we've been fortunate in town, don't you think, Donna? And yeah, knock on wood, exactly right. So, okay, next item is swear in some police officers.
Sir.
Chief and.
Make my way to the podium. Good evening, Mayor, members of council, Vice Mayor, staff, family. Today we have the privilege of swearing in 2 officers that have spent their time in the academy for the last 6 months. Up first, I'll ask Jordan Henniger to come on. So early November, October timeframe, late October, I had the pleasure of sitting down with Jordan for an interview that was both scheduled and spontaneous in the way it was conducted. Traditionally, I don't sit with an applicant in the beginning, more towards the end once we establish relationships. But I'm glad it worked out the way it did, and I got to have that initial conversation with him. It quickly became clear that Jordan is a wonderful fit for a career in public service. This field can be quite daunting while you first expressed an interest, but Jordan remained eager and articulated all the right points. Very easy to talk to. It was a wonderful conversation. I'm sure Ms. Collins agrees. It's evident that Jordan is a young man embarking on an incredible journey, and it's clear that his parents have provided him with a solid foundation. Both of his parents and his brother were genuinely excited about Jordan pursuing his career, his true calling. Throughout our conversation, we discovered common themes in Jordan's background. He's a wonderful person, a solid individual, goal-oriented, and mature beyond his years. These were the references that talked about Jordan through and through, just a stud of a young man. The only downside for Jordan was the prospect of having to shave his head. So before the training, he had a beautiful head of hair, long, beautiful hair, and he kept it till the very end, almost to defiance. So, and I speak from a place of jealousy, being somebody that came. It was a nice head of hair, but that's long gone. He can have it in 25 years. So Jordan is a native of Vinton, a 2019 graduate of William Byrd High School. From 2021 to 2022, he attended Radford University and majored in geospatial science.
Yes, sir.
In 2021, he transferred to Virginia Tech, where he obtained a degree in wildlife conservation. Before joining the Vinton Police Department, Jordan worked for the Appalachian Trail Conservancy, and his young career has already made a noticeable impact. He is a great person to be around and scored exceptionally well during what I would define as a rigorous evaluation of his life thus far. And from our limited interactions, we're extremely excited and grateful that Jordan has chose to serve the community in which he grew up in. So by order, what are we doing? We're doing the swearing. I already forgot. Something different for voters.
And we'll get through this together. If you would raise your right hand. I, Jordan Ray Henniger,
I, Jordan Rainiger,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Virginia,
the Constitution of the State of Virginia,
and the Code of the Town of Benton,
and the Code of the Town of Benton.
and I will faithfully and impartially discharge
I will faithfully and will impartially discharge
all and perform all duties incumbent upon me
and perform all duties incumbent upon me
as a police officer of the Town of Benton, Virginia,
as a police officer of the Town of Benton, Virginia,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Excellent.
I would now invite Mr. Henniger's mother to come up, which will be doing the pinning on Officer Henniger.
Base officer.
Got one more and then we'll bring the full back.
Okay.
I'd like to invite Derek Runyon. Derek applied to our agency in October. He was fully engaged throughout the application process. Derek goes hard in the paint. He was really engaged, full of fire. It was clear that he wanted to pursue this career for most, if not all, of his life. His enthusiasm was evident, and he made sure we noticed, and we noticed. He performed well on written tests, showed strong physical agility, and demonstrated an honest run time during his initial screening. One thing Derek does not lack is tenacity, and I truly admire that about him. Derek is engaged and a parent of two pets. We take pet ownership seriously during our evaluations, believe it or not. That is something we look at, should you divulge that. In Derek's case, he rescued a French bulldog with severe medical challenges. What we observed about Derek is that despite knowing the difficulties the animal had faced, he took that responsibility and cared for it. This speaks to his commitment, his patience, attention to detail, high-quality caregiving, and his ability to care for others, to include an animal way beyond himself. Derek has essentially been involved in law enforcement his whole life, as his father, with us today, has worked alongside us in the town of Vinton as a Roanoke County officer for many years, and those are some very tough shoes to fill, so beginning's tough already. Derek graduated as well from William Byrd High School. In 2016, attended Emory and Henry College, and he played football while attending college. He has experience as an emergency communications officer with Roanoke County and has also worked as a department manager at Lowe's. Additionally, he owns and operates his own lawn care business, and outside of work, which is the most important part, Derek cherishes his time with his fiance and his dogs. He has a strong desire to give back to the community and build lasting relationships, which makes his pursuit of career in law enforcement a natural fit. Today, both Derek and Jordan have earned the opportunity to serve the town of Vinton. Mr. Peters. Derek Austin Runyon.
Derek Austin Runyon.
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
Do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Virginia,
the Constitution of the State of Virginia,
and the Code of the Town of Benton,
and the Code of the Town of Benton.
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
I will faithfully and impartially discharge
and perform all duties incumbent upon me and perform all duties incumbent upon me
and perform all duties incumbent upon me
as a police officer of the town of Benton,
as a
Virginia,
police officer in the Town of Benton, Virginia,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Nice.
So now invite Officer Runyon's mother and father to come up for pinning.
First time I've done. No. First time it's been pinned in. Oh.
You made it look really.
She did.
Yeah. No, this is it. We're wrapping it up.
And now's the hard part.
You guys want to say anything? No. They're
We'd like
tapped
to
out.
take their hand, Chief.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Officer Runyon, Officer Henniger.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations.
Welcome. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Welcome aboard.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you. And we just certainly want to welcome our two new officers. Congratulations on being members of the Benton Police Department. That says a lot about you in itself. Our chief and our department do a great job, and we know that if you've been selected for our department, then you're top-notch, first-class folks. So I know we got a lot of proud parents here tonight too, and I don't blame you for being proud. I would be too, that's for sure. So welcome, and we do have a former police officer on council. Mike, would you like?
Sure. Congratulations, guys. And, you know, you couldn't have picked a better department. I mean, it starts right here with us as far as the support's concerned, to Mr. Peters, the town manager, and then, of course, your chief and administration there. And, you know, we're proud. We're proud you chose this department because there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of them out there that'd like to have you. But thank you for coming, and we look forward to both of you having a long career here. And when you get down to Mr. Lyles, he's going to tell you how rich your history was of the Benton Police Department. But anyway, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, guys, and thank you for the families for sharing with us, and I'm glad you're here. Good luck, and anything you need, we're here. And I see that Officer Runyon has his daddy's personality, and that is fantastic. So look out. Look out.
Look out.
And I like how you signed real fast. You can write tickets real fast, so study up. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Welcome, guys.
Yes.
I just want to welcome you to the family. We truly are a family here, and you guys have joined a great team. You got some folks that will be there by your side and help you. They're great role models. We love Benton. We like to keep Benton safe, and I'm sure that you're going to be a great addition to our team.
Great comments.
I, of course, want to welcome you guys, and I like the way that Chief goes after new recruits and personal stories, and that's how you get into the family. And if he thinks you're part of the family, then we also think you're part of the family. So welcome to the family.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, and welcome. We look forward to working with you. Chief, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. With that, we'll move on to some more news staff. I understand we have some new folks for the finance department. Andrew, are you? We We don't get to see you do this very often.
I know. I'm excited to be able to do it. So I've actually got a couple tonight, which is even more exciting. So right here on my left is Kim Hartman. She has been with us since February, but haven't had a chance to get her in here yet. So excited to do that. She came to us from Botetourt County. She had most recently served as purchasing manager with the county. She has many years of experience in several realms of finance, and that includes purchasing and procurement, accounts payable, accounts receivable, and payroll. And much of that was done in the government setting. Her primary duties with the town are going to be accounts payable processing, payroll processing, and procurement duties. And Kim is a William Byrd graduate. She later earned a degree in accounting. She now lives in the Blue Ridge area with her husband, Frankie, and her son, Mason. And in her free time, she enjoys reading, walking, and baking. So I'm excited to have her on the team.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Does Botetourt have any employees left?
Yeah.
Well, we certainly want to welcome you, and there again, we want to shake your hand. Did you want to? Yeah.
Welcome. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for being.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for all your help you're going to help us with. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Good to see you.
All right. Jackson, you want to come up? All right. And then also we've got Jackson Smith. Jackson is a rising junior at Virginia Tech, and he's going to be serving as an intern in the finance department through the summer, so he'll go back in mid-August. Jackson's studying accounting. He plans to work in the tax concentration in the accounting field upon graduation in 27. He attended Lord Botetourt. He lived in Vinton for many years before also moving to Blue Ridge, and we've got a whole lot of excitement for him. He's already kind of dived into a variety of things to include both treasury and accounting duties. So we're excited to work with him for the next couple of months. And he enjoys golfing, hunting, fishing any spare time. And yeah, he's already made some big progress. So
I might add, he's an excellent hunter and a self-taught small engine repair.
Oh, is that?
Part-time in public work.
secondary employment.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Glad you're here, Jim.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for all your help.
Y'all just keep bringing these Hokies in here. I love it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
You're doing good, Andrew.
Wow.
All right. Andrew, you did really, really well. Way to go. Yeah. Thank you, folks. Hope you enjoy it. All
All right,
right.
now go ahead. Give it to us, Nathan.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, I'd like to introduce Scott Stevenson, our new part-time code enforcement officer. So we're grateful to administration and also the council for allowing our department to have a part-time code enforcement officer. This is the first time our department's been able to have a staff member who could fully dedicate their time to code enforcement. And so yeah, we're really grateful for that. And Scott's been doing a great job. There's hitting the ground running. I think Scott's hitting the ground sprinting. So we're doing a really great job. I do want to read his bio that he wrote up. Born in Chesterfield, Virginia. His family moved to Vinton when he was 9 years old into the Valley High neighborhood. He attended East Vinton Elementary School, then the old William Byrd Middle School, and then finally graduated from William Byrd in 1988. He went to the military under an 8-year contractual obligation where he became a medic attached to the Marine Division down in Jacksonville, North Carolina. After fulfilling his enlistment, he came home and attended Virginia Western while also working on framing houses. He's a jack of all trades.
Small engine repair is not my thing.
He started a career in law enforcement in 1998 as a correctional officer at Blue Ridge Regional Jail at the Bonita facility. Later, he's accepted to the Roanoke City's 49th Police Academy, becoming a patrol officer for the city of Roanoke. So that's his police life early on. And then in 2007, he made a transition to the fire and rescue for Roanoke County's 10th Academy as a paramedic firefighter for Roanoke County, where he worked until his retirement last year of March in 2024. He's been married to his wife, Amy Stevenson, for 26 years, who's currently the current chief of probation and parole in Lynchburg, Virginia. They've been together for a total of 31 years. And he also has two daughters, one who's in the Air Force, and his youngest who's finishing up her teaching degree at Liberty University. But we're really grateful and we're glad that Scott's with us. He's been making a lot of progress. I'm not going to steal his thunder because later on tonight he has a code enforcement report on all the cases he's done for only 1 month. But
Nathan was glad to hand that off.
it was great. Yeah. So,
It's like a welcome to an old friend. So, yeah, good to see you. We do want to shake your hand, though.
Thank you, sir. Your man. Welcome. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
I'm so glad you're here.
Good to see you.
Okay.
Let the fun begin.
That's it.
Is that a requirement to work?
Chief's got his eye on you.
And can I say honestly, what a pleasure was I had Donna, Anita, and Nathan were three of the four, and Jamie was earlier on my panel. They asked great questions in the interview process, for this position. I was really impressed with them as well.
Wow, great. Thank you for those comments. That's awesome. Thank you.
I think he does need a badge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay.
All right, Public Works Department, right?
Sir.
They just keep coming.
I know, we crammed them all in tonight.
Yeah, that's great.
Like Andrew, I don't get to do this too often either, but I will claim to be the most efficient. So tonight I'd like to welcome Miss Carrie Glass, whose first day was yesterday.
Oh, welcome.
So
Came back today?
And tonight.
So Carrie is working for us now part-time in Public Works. Like I said, just started yesterday assisting Bo and Jill down there. She will likely be the person that you get on the phone if you call during the prime time of the day. So she has lots of experience answering, let's say, the friendly and the less than friendly phone calls. She comes to us after retiring from the Western Virginia Water Authority in their collections department, and then she'd also collections, right? Yes. And then she'd also previously worked in the Roanoke City Treasurer's office for a number of years and some other jobs prior.
That's gonna be easy.
So unlike a lot of the previous new employees tonight, she is a Northside grad, not a William Byrd grad. So,
Sorry.
Go Vikings. But apart from being recently retired, her and her husband are looking to build a new house and just experience, some more time together. So thank you so much, and we are happy to have her here.
Welcome.
This is all about politics. All these shaking hands.
Yeah. Good practice.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Andrew, you going to take picture with her? I mean, pardon me, Cody? Yeah, Andrew can.
Do this so infrequent.
I hear that. Good job, Cody.
I'd just like to say, like, we do have like the phenomenal staff and we just added some to it, but I like how y'all have transitioned into multitasking individuals. So if she has something to do in the treasurer's department, she can go over there, or Scott can help out the police department. We small engine repair guy too. It's double the wins.
Here the chief can cook.
Hey, when you work for a small town, you got to be flexible, right?
Multitask, yeah.
Yeah, multitask, exactly. Well, we certainly do want to welcome all of our new staff members. I hope you find this a great place to work. We think it is, and I appreciate you folks coming on board. Very excited to have you here. This section is for citizens' comments and petitions. This is reserved for comments that are not listed on the agenda. Anyone have anything? All right, if not, we will move on to the items that require action. And the first thing will be our town budget. So, Andrew, yeah, you're up.
You're going to click the next button.
Good evening again. So this is going to be the, I guess, the fourth time that y'all have heard this. I'm going to try to pare it down to the most condensed version as well. So, taking a look at the revenues, we are currently sustainable, but we do project a decrease in the short term. And we talked about this, in the council work session as well as the other presentations. But the main driver of this projected decrease is going to be the absence of the Western Virginia Water Authority payments. So as a reminder, there were 3 payments following that transition, and the last one, the smallest of the 3, is going to be received in FY26. So once we receive that last payment of $500,000. We'll be done with those payments, and that's going to be a little bit of a, obviously, a decrease to our revenue. Our major revenue streams, specifically when we look at significant growth in the most recent years, is new restaurants. Meals tax being our highest revenue producing category has grown exponentially, but we also see that beginning to level off as so many restaurants have located here. So while we do continue to see nominal growth there, we don't expect to see the exponential growth that we've seen in the past several years. When we look at our fund balance reserves, we talk about the one-time money that we have as a product of both the ARPA funding, the CARES Act funding. We talk about the high interest rate environment, so we've wanted to keep that one-time money in a place where it can earn while we look for strategic ways to spend that. So, and then looking at what's on the horizon, we look at expenditures starting to outpace our revenues. So again, our revenue growth has slowed as new businesses and new restaurants have slowed coming into town. We expect inflation and other economic factors to allow expenditures to outpace that revenue. So because of that, we're looking forward to new revenue streams. So we still do have a few new restaurants on the horizon. We also are looking forward to the hotel, which is going to be a new revenue source for us as far as occupancy tax is concerned. General fund revenues, we had talked about the absence of the water authority. So you can see as we move into FY26, you'll see it kind of drop down in FY27. But the major drivers there is, like I said, going to be the absence of the water authority payment, and we're going to have to look at strategic ways to build our revenues back up to stay on pace with our expenditures moving forward. The big picture on expenditures. So operationally, our expenditures in the departments have remained essentially flat. So our personnel expense, we talk about every year, is the largest expense for the town. We have incorporated in a 3% raise for all employees with a targeted additional 1.5% for our public works and police departments. So outside of those personnel expenses, the year-over-year operational expenses of the department have remained relatively flat. There is no change in the health insurance premiums for employees, so the full impact of the 3 or 4.5% raise, depending on the department, will be felt. Major expenditures of note, we talk about annual paving. We've got just shy of $800,000 targeted for this year in paving. And then our economic development performance agreements. So we'll talk about this in a second, but we are using fund balance to fund these performance agreements, which is a great use of fund balance because it essentially is paving the way for us to set up future revenues. So we use those one-time monies to secure future ongoing revenues. Taking a look at what we expect to come, growth expenditures are expected to begin outpacing natural revenue growth. So that's why we talked about looking at other options as far as new revenue sources and what we can do to grow the revenue sources that we have. That's going to be something we have to keep an eye on going forward. And then we also anticipate a cost increase in fringe benefits. Health insurance, luckily, has not increased in several years, but we know at some point that's going to, and we expect it to be a substantial increase when it does happen. So we've been lucky, but we expect that to come at some point. This is a look at all of the expenses by department. You can see the public works and the police department take up just roughly half of the town's budget, and the rest of the departments fall in the other half. And then lastly, this is going to be just a budget analysis. So on the left side, we look at the revenues, operational revenue. We've got $12,143,831. We separated out that Western Virginia Water Authority payment of $500,000 to highlight that. And then the $913,000 use of fund balance, which is going to be going towards performance agreements. So that makes up the total budget of $13,557,181. Then on the expenditure side, operational is a little over 4.25. Personnel is just over half at $7 million. Our paving comes in just shy of $800,000. Performance agreements are at $913 and reflect the notation on the revenue side. Then, of course, our capital project budget for this year is right at $500,000. That's all I've got. Do you guys have any questions tonight that I might be able to answer?
Yeah. I don't know, question. So
sure.
Town council, 184,066, right?
Okay.
I know with what I make, where's the other $180,000 going?
Okay, so this is the total departmental budget. So this is not just inclusive of personnel. So any meeting expenses, any travel expenses.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't being slighted over here. I thought maybe
That's all I'd say. It's performance-based pay, and I make a whole lot more than that.
Oh, boy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Anybody else have anything?
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Good job. I think there's a couple of significant things that we should point out because we've heard this, what'd you say, 4 times? And actually
Formally.
Yeah, formally 4 times. 4 times. But, and that's basically where I was going. It seems to me work on the budget is kind of a year-round process nowadays, and of course Mike and I are on the finance committee, but the entire council is involved in it, so a lot of work goes on all year long, and our staff does just a really tremendous job, so I certainly want to thank them for working on the budget and for carrying out council's wishes. One thing in particular I would like to refer to is our staff has, I think, gone out of their way to make sure that council understands that we are spending one-time money. We've heard that several times. I got it. I understand. But those expenditures are for great investments in our communities, both for economic development and for quality of life. But I appreciate the way staff has made sure that we understand, what's going on. And I truly believe that those investments, particularly the economic development investments, will lead to more revenue in the future. I also think it's significant that the largest portion of the budget is personnel expenses. If I understand this correctly, and I guess my comment is we do like to take care of our folks to the best of our ability, and I think it's very, very important that our staff be compensated properly, and I think they are. I think we're doing a good job in that area. It's a huge portion of our budget, and well, no other way to say it except it's well worth the money. So I appreciate there again the work that's being done on the budget and the way you guys can explain it to even me. So it's good. I know it takes a lot of explanation. So thank you, Zach. Council, any other comments or questions or concerns about the budget?
Sir?
This is the fourth and final time, right?
Yeah.
So you have before you an ordinance that would approve the town of Benton budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025 and ending June 30, 2026. Is there a motion?
I'll move the budget.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Stovall, second by Councilman Lyles. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Lyles?
Yes.
Excuse me. Councilmember McCarty?
Yes.
Councilmember Stovall?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mullins?
Yes.
Mayor Gross?
Yes. Thank you, folks.
All right, start on the next one.
Yes. Yeah, start on the next one. That's right.
Maybe take a couple of days.
Little break.
All right. So with that, we'll move on to our briefing for this evening, and looks like Scott's up now. Sugar. That's great.
And I apologize, I wrote this a little bit ago. They asked me to give you a summation of where we're at. It's only been a month. This is week 5. So first and foremost, I want to start off by saying thank you again for this opportunity that has been afforded to me for the position of part-time employment as a code enforcement officer with the town of Benton. And it says, so far for the month of May, the primary concentration, as I get acclimated learning more violations in the area of tall grass, weeds, inoperable vehicles, storage trash, boats, and RVs. There will be other violations that need obvious and or needing the immediate attention. They'll be addressed as well. I've really been working on making a concerted effort to do a proactive approach in this position. Most of my call-ins and online complaints that I've received are identified and or addressed by going out and proactively identifying those. It's been my pleasure for those people to call in to be able to explain the new position and goals, how the town of Benton is pushing a positive resolution experience for all parties. I really have enjoyed getting out and letting citizens be able to put a face with a name, code enforcement officer, not just a letter through the mail or an online complaint form. I feel that the tangibility really adds a newness and realism to the position. One area in the end of it we're working on at the time is the mail. With it going from Greensboro and down, they're losing like 4 days in letter. So we've given them a grace period to kind of adjust to that. I've been giving that grace course to the citizens, and they've adjusted well to that. At this point, it's been they've all been extremely thankful. I do add the call information in the notes as they call into the violations, and I'll add in that needs to be reassessed, like in 6 or 10 days in the hour program. It'll automatically generate, go back out. So some of the issues were able to be handled by phone call with no violation letter need to be sent. So in the month of May so far, just in the 4 weeks, our grass and weeds violation, and again, I apologize, I don't have a PowerPoint, but as I acclimate, I'll get that for you. I did 40 violations. Inoperable vehicles, we had 47. Boats and RVs, we had 4. At this time, trash, we had 1. Bushes on the sidewalks, 2. Commercial vehicles and residential properties, 1. So it's a total 95 letters sent, but about 117 violations.
Wow.
And today alone, I had 16 people call in and had some positive resolution with them over the phone. Some call in very upset, and by the time I get done, they want to have a cup of coffee. But they are thankful, and a lot of them don't realize, they're just not aware that there are town ordinances, and kind of like an HOA, so I tell them things that they have to comply with. And you get the occasional, well, Pete over there has got 2 RVs in his, and Rizzo's got a boat in his front yard. And I just tell him, I said, look, I worked law enforcement prior to this. I can't stop but 1 car at a time. But I promise you, those will be addressed. And so it's funny, like, we called the hollow down with the Craig Centers, my group running ball, remember Keith? And so I go over there and had Mr. Casey, and I got to laugh. He said, well, what you doing on my property? And I was like, hey, Mr. Casey, you remember me? And I told him who it was. And he said, man, you got big. I said, you called me fat? Yeah. He got to laughing. He remembered me. And so he's like, I got my permits, talked to Nathan. Of course he did. It just, the rapport, it's almost like I'll say a class reunion, family reunion with the people. And then they get a little more comfortable with you. And I'm an open door. And I learned through law enforcement, and I know Fabrizio would tell you this, he'll learn more than I forget, or he remembers and has more than I'll ever learn. But, if they're upset, let them get off the chest. Then you politely say, hey, look, I got most of that. Can you repeat it for me again? The second time they're talking to you.
Yeah.
And so, and it works. I've learned those things. Don't work all the time. We do have some redheaded stepchildren already. We're going to have our hands cut out for, but we'll get there and we'll work with them. And each individual has their own story. And like Pete and I had talked, I don't know what footsteps any of you have walked in yet, so it's not my place to judge, pass judgment, but it's my job to represent accountability, Benton, in my best ability in a positive manner so that everything's positive in their eyes with accountability. And I'll try to have you more in a couple of months. And I came out the gate, I hit everybody hard because word's getting around fast. And like the guy today, he called me, he's like, was that you creep around the neighborhood in that gray vehicle? I was like, yes, sir. He said, who was with you? I said, my boss. But they're seeing it. And so that proactive approach really is, one of the ladies said, in finance had given us something. The next day I made a phone call and they'd mowed the grass. But it's nice. Some of them realize it's, they let it go a little long. And
yeah. Without mentioning any names, I really appreciated what you were telling me about getting someone's mother on them, So.
It's funny because I know when somebody called my mama, I wasn't getting it from mom, I was getting it from dad. And when you want the grandparents on the weekend, your aunts and uncles will give it to you too. So I knew that sometimes moms or dads could have an approach, and it worked well.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the job you're doing already. I think it's a really important job because obviously code enforcement keeps our town looking good. And of course, we want to have a nice place to live and want our citizens to enjoy a high quality of life. So code enforcement is good. And I've always said it's the hardest job in town. Excuse me, folks, but but man, it's tough.
Well, that's what the guy said to me today. He says, I don't know how you do that. I said, here's the difference. Whatever you say to me, I'm not going to take personal. And my job is to make it better for both parties. Again, like I said, and we're going to work with you. I said, look, they're not waiting at 000 tonight to put a record to your thing and then send a contractor 0600 in the morning to mow your grass. I said, so, and it works. I mean, they really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So thank you again for the opportunity. I really appreciate all of it.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.
It's 17 violations.
That's this time, yes, sir. And I got 2 more days, 119.
I thought you were part-time.
Well, I knew growing up with you, you had higher expectations than most here. And I didn't graduate from Bergman getting bot-type people to compete. I want to keep my job.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we are having a good time tonight, right? It's a good meeting. It's a good meeting. And with that, we'll move on to some appointments to boards and commissions. So, Pete, how are we handling this?
Megan pointed it out earlier. I saw the agenda and I saw town clerk, and I didn't even think twice. That's Megan. Well, no, it's not quite yet. It's still Megan.
That's you.
So I'm gonna do the best that I can. And at the very end, I'll have some other guidance on how to make the motion. But we have a couple appointments to our boards and commissions and committees. This is something we do periodically, depending on our staff or citizen appointments. So we do have 2 to the Roanoke Valley Allegheny Regional Commission. The first one is for myself, Richard Peters, as a member of the Roanoke Valley Allegheny Regional Commission to a new 3-year term beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2028. And the second is to reappoint Cody Sexton as the alternate member to the Roanoke Valley Allegheny Regional Commission for a 3-year term, same July 1st, 2025, ending June 30th, 2028. We don't have the choice not to accept that appointment, so we're both willing.
So we appreciate your volunteering for that.
As far as the Greenway Commission, I have 2 citizen appointments. Council's being asked to reappoint Arthur Bud LaRoche III as a member of the Greenway Commission to a 3-year term beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2028. And also reappoint Rob Lyon as a member of the Greenway Commission to a 3-year term, July 1st, 2025, ending June 30th, 2028. These 2 citizens have been approached and asked if they'd like to be reappointed, and both of them agreed and would love the opportunity. And the last being the Greater Roanoke Transit Company Board. This is Valley Metro, better known as. Council's asked to reappoint Andrew King as our finance director as a member of the Greater Roanoke Transit Board to a new 1-year term beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026. And if there's not any objections or changes to those, I would ask that you can make those motions in a pair of both the Regional Commission, a pair as the Greenway Commission, and as a single motion for the Valley Metro Board. So be happy to answer any questions if you have, but these are pretty standard and
Okay.
for consideration.
All right. Thank you very much, Council. You've heard the nominations, I guess. Would anyone like to make the motion to appoint Pete Peters and Cody Sexton to the Roanoke Valley Allegheny Regional Commission?
I'll make the motion.
With the understanding, Mr. Mayor, that Mr. Sexton is the alternate. That needs to be
Yes.
clear.
I'm sorry, yeah.
What about the date?
Some dates?
Yeah, and the dates are, July 1.
Right. So you made that motion.
I'll make that motion. What he said. And
Okay.
July 125 through June 30.
Right.
All right.
I'll second.
All right. We have a motion by Councilmember McCarty, a second by Vice Mayor Mullins. Voice vote. We call the roll. What do we do here?
Voice.
Do voice voice.
Okay. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to reappoint Arthur Bud LaRoche III and Rob Lyon as a member of the Greenway Commission for a 3-year term beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending on June 30th, 2028.
Thank you, sir. That was very efficient. Thank you.
I've been practicing.
I can tell. It works. It works. All right. We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Lyles, second by Councilmember McCarty. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. One more.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to reappoint Andrew King to a member of the Greater Roanoke Transit Board for a new 1-year term beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026.
And I'll second it.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you go
Lori
right
wanted-
ahead. Mm-mm.
Let
Go ahead.
Lori second.
No, I've said enough tonight.
Okay.
We have a motion by Councilman Lyles and a second by Councilman McCarty. Councilmember McCarty. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. All right. I'm glad you were here to keep us straight, Jeremy.
I'm sure the soon-to-be clerk will appreciate the clarity of the motion.
Exactly. Good training, right? Jeremy, did you have anything further this evening?
Nothing else this evening, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Always good to see you here. Mr. Manager.
Just 2 quick items. We did receive recently our bid packages for the park. We're working on finalizing some of those details with our engineers to make sure that those prices are of of acceptable nature. We'll plan to come back to town council on June 17th to ask for your authorization to enter into contract with the apparent low bid so that we can get that park underway. Cody's been working on the budget to finalize what all we need to do a turnkey, as all council has directed staff to do so. So hopefully we'll get that project wrapped up here in the late summer and early fall.
Looks like a lot of stuff out there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the second thing, I just want to acknowledge the great work of the staff. Donna Collins is HR. You heard a lot of new staff introduced tonight. That's a lot of marketing. That's a lot of interviews. That's a lot of paperwork. We're super excited to have such a great quality of staff to come on board as, but it takes a lot of work behind the scenes. So not only by Donna, she carries a lot of those load, but the department heads, and then the interview panel. So we typically form a nice interview team and take our turns and our rotations to not just interview within the department, but actually have representatives from various departments when we interview. So it seems to be a good hiring practice and has resulted in some good hires. So proud of that process and really excited about the new employees coming on board. So.
Yeah. Yes, well, me too. That's very well said. I don't know all the ins and outs of your hiring process, but obviously it works. So congratulations on that. So, Council, you folks have any further comments? I'll start with you, Mr. Stovall.
First off, thank you for the card. Happy birthday. 35 looks great, so you've done well for yourself. And I do want to say on behalf of you, Mr. Peters and the staff on the budget, I think it's a great budget. A lot of work went into it, paid a lot of close attention to it, definitely took care of our employees, which is, I believe, all of us' ultimate goal. And then we provided the services that we could for the citizens. I thought it was a great budget we gave on.
Yep. Thank you, sir. You're right. Yeah. Vice Mayor, anything further?
And to add to that, I feel like it's our responsibility, but the staff does such a great job of being good stewards of citizens' money, and that's what we're tasked to do. I appreciate the work on the budget. Thank y'all so much. And what a good meeting. A lot of new faces, a lot of new people. Our family just keeps getting bigger. I love it.
It was fun, wasn't it? Yeah. It was. Amy, you have anything?
I too want to thank you for the card, and I have my little heart up here that's reminding me. So I appreciate that. I want to thank Julie and Anita for getting the food tonight. That was really good. I think Julie already left. Everybody that helped with that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is this restaurant week?
It is.
Okay.
PBR Restaurant Week, yes.
So we need to check. Several of our restaurants are participating in that.
Yes, 7 Vinton restaurants participate.
Right.
70 and
But only 7 that we want to concentrate on right here in the heart of Benton. So go eat out at a Benton restaurant. I'm sure they're participating. And my personal shout out this week for the Benton restaurant that I got to go to is the Dogwood.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't been to the Dogwood lately, you need to go. They have a beautiful patio, a great addition, really nice bathrooms, excellent food. Just go. That's it.
Thank you. Sir, you have anything further?
Yes. Thank you for my card. And I got my heart up here too. I know we joked around a lot tonight, but it was a lot of fun. And but in all seriousness, like we do have the best staff ever, and the way it just keeps getting better with the recruits that you hire and the staff that you guys hire. And I know we only get the best. I don't know why they all just decide to apply here, but you guys do a really good job on picking our staff. And poor body time.
Yes, no kidding. Yeah, don't go through bot.
Good job again tonight, Megan.
Yes.
And Pete, thanks for doing the swearing in. You did a great job.
Yeah, you sure did. And well said, folks. I hate to be redundant, but you're exactly right, Keith. We've had some visitors here tonight, and we had a good time tonight. It was a good night. Sometimes we joke around, but we do get our work done as a council and certainly as staff. We're very blessed to have our staff, and I just appreciate so much the hiring process and our staff. I just don't think they can be beat. And that's what I was trying to say earlier with this new comp plan and with our staff. I'm really excited about the future of the town of Vinton. Just briefly, once again, we'll thank everyone that worked on the comp plan. And Marietta, thank you very much for the card. Happy birthday. I don't know if we could have a council meeting without you here, so you're a great cheerleader. I'd like to pass along one other thing. Anita was with me today, so she can verify this. We were out in front of the municipal building today, and there was a lady that came out, and she had just paid taxes. So, I mean, you know, maybe you wouldn't think that would be the happiest moment in her life, but she came out, and we started talking, and she was so appreciative of the town of Vinton. She said she'd lived here for 40 years, and she said, I can tell when I come into Vinton, the roads are well maintained, the grass is cut, and things look really well. And she said it's a safe place, and she just went on and on. She really appreciated all the work that our staff does, and Anita can confirm this. She was just very complimentary about our town. And when we started talking about staff, she left a quote that I think are words to live by. I think it's okay to tell her name. It's Mrs. Johnson. She lives here in town. But she said, you can pay anyone to work, but you cannot pay anyone to care. I think those are words to live by, and I think that describes our staff very well. They care about this town and our citizens, and that's why things go so well. So I appreciate y'all's patience. Anything further to come before council tonight? No? Thank you, folks, again. If not, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Did you get those names, by the way? All in favor, please signify by leaving. Thank you, folks, for being here. Thank you, Mary. God bless you.
Keith.